Hi again, it's your friend Tash at Leisure Explorer, and today we are going to take you through our travels to Gili Trawangan. Gili Trawangan is an island in Indonesia. It is a 2.5-hour ferry ride away from Bali. This was my second trip to Bali and I've always wanted to go to Gili, but I just didn't plan my trip correctly the last time to fit it in. And in saying that, the first important thing to note is that you can't take a ferry to Gili Islands just for the day. And the reason for this is because of the transit time. So today I'm going to tell you everything I wish I had known when planning my trip to Gili so that you can plan a perfect getaway. We started off our journey from our hotel in Legian early in the morning, approximately 7 a.m. We left from Legian and drove to Padang Bay Port, which was recommended to me by my driver as a more convenient and effective option because the port at Sanur stops by Nusa Penida and that ferry takes you way longer to get there. So ideally this ferry ride is 2.5 hours long and your total transit time should be about 3.5 hours. So in total, if everything goes according to plan, it will take you around 4 hours to get to your hotel. It was chaos with our luggage and I recommend a carry-on bag only as you have to get your luggage on the boat and it's not easy to move around with a large suitcase. We stored our luggage at our hotel in Bali and they kept it for us until we returned. I don't want to name and shame the boat company we used as I believe most of the boats are like this. There was no aircon in the boat on the way there and some people went on the top of the boat, but of course you will have to sit through 2 hours of harsh sun. The air is so hot and you can't breathe, bearing in mind that Bali is really hot. On the return boat trip, I sat at the back of the boat and it was so bad, I had a panic attack as I couldn't breathe with the gas fumes which were so bad. So why am I telling you this? Well, once I got to the hotel, I was told that if you want to avoid all of this, you should pay more and take a boat called Ekajaya, which is bigger and safer. Unfortunately, as it was a busy period, we could not get a return boat with that company. I will link it down below so you don't have to go through the same experience as I did. Honestly, pay the money if you can afford to. Once we arrived at Gili T, we found a horse and cart as our hotel was on the opposite end of the island.
Taxi.
Hello. Aww.
Not exactly a carriage, right?
Yeah. It's a very strange feeling.
This is an experience. Getting picked up in a horse, in a cart, very different. Never expected this.
Actually wanted to walk, but it's a bit too far. And it's really, really hot today. Give him an apple. Okay? Can we give him? Can he eat apple?
Maybe.
This driver like
No apple. He's like, no, I don't want fruit. No, no.
You don't want.
Ah, shit. Never mind.
It's okay.
It's okay. The hotel that we stayed in was a 5-star, and notably the only 5-star hotel on the island. The beautiful Cocana Resort. Click here for the video on the hotel tour. Our stay was amazing. They upgraded us to a villa and we had one of the best stays we've ever experienced, with a private pool, divine food, and a gorgeous beach club to take in some afternoon sundowners. I was recommended a stay of 2 nights. However, I found that 2 nights was way too short, and for me personally, I would recommend a minimum of 3 nights. We dined at the hotel, enjoyed our villa and the pool, and ordered in some room service. Pampered in our luxe bathrobes because why not? The food was divine and it was the perfect ending to our first day. Our second day was all about exploring our resort and the Gili Islands. We booked a sunset tour of the Gili Islands, which was perfect for us as we really are not fans of the heat. We had some lunch before our shared tour and enjoyed the view of the island while we waited. Be sure to check out the reviews of the places before you eat, because I had a meal I definitely cannot recommend.
So let's show you the view that we are at. As you can see, there's a lot of boats. So a lot of excursions. There's the dock where you actually come in, as well as far in the distance is the other island. So you can see the other islands from where you are, which is pretty cool. So these 3 islands are really close to each other.
We actually did not want to take a horse and cart. We wanted to cycle or walk with our bags, but it was actually really far and it was
too hot.
It's just too hot. I just don't think it's possible. So yeah, unfortunately we had to use the horse, but they did tell us that they give the horses regular breaks to give them water and food, and they don't use them all day. So that was the reassuring part.
Yeah, it was comforting. But our hotel is on the direct opposite side of the island, so it is quite a far walk.
It's 2.8 kilometers.
And in the heat, you just can't do it.
We met at the tour operator at one of the bars along the beach, and he made us try on our snorkeling gear, and we went to board the boat with the rest of the passengers. It was a fairly decent sized boat with a good amount of passengers that didn't make it feel cramped or overcrowded. The boat ride was scenic the entire way, and because this was the afternoon tour, it wasn't overly busy. We soon got to our first stop, and one by one we started to get into the water. If you've always wanted to swim with turtles, this is your opportunity to do it, as there are plenty of turtles close between Gili and Gili Meno. I am not that confident staying afloat, so I wanted to wear a life jacket. Unfortunately, if you do wear a life jacket, this really does inhibit your ability to get right under the water to where the turtles are due to its buoyancy. You will see at some point I took it out. The next stop was the Basque Nest underwater sculptures. This is a beautiful art installation situated across the Basque Resort. The boat driver tried to come to the spot twice during our trip, as the water was murky, and unfortunately it still didn't settle when we did go down. So what you will find in the video is that it's not that clear in what we were able to capture, but nonetheless the fish and sculptures were quite beautiful.
you feeling?
I'm feeling exhausted, but excited I got to swim with a turtle. That was amazing.
We also got to enjoy the most beautiful sunset on the boat. It was such a gorgeous way to catch the sun setting, and I'm really glad we did this. Finally, we got back to the island, and by this time the party had started and the island was alive. I even ended up buying something to wear from the markets here so that we could sit down and have dinner somewhere. There's fresh seafood restaurants, supermarkets, bars, and just a wonderful vibe at night.
Exploring. That's what I do here. Let's explore. Prawn. Oh, it's still alive.
Yes, guys, please something
We enjoyed a peaceful dinner and our last night on Gili Tea, and will forever have fond memories of the island and remember the cheery bells of the horses trotting by. We're not in our 20s, so if you thought Gili Tea was just for partygoers and backpackers, it most certainly doesn't have to be. I hope this video helped you decide if Gili Tea is right for you. Thank you for watching our video. We appreciate your support and see you in the next one. Your friends at Leisure Explorer.